Today we're weaving on the triangle loom for a triangle plus connecting for a square. Today on Good Knit Kisses. Welcome to Good Knit Kisses. We're all about helping you stitch your love and love your stitches. Today we're working on a 20 peg triangle loom. You can work on a larger one. This one is just for demonstration purposes. We'll be working with one strand of yarn, and I'm going to work with two colors so that you can see how to make these and stack them on top of each other when you get ready to connect. So you're going to want one strand of either a super bulky weight 6 yarn, and you can get this look here, or you can use 2 strands at a time and get this look right here. Now I'm just going to be using one strand for demonstration purposes so that you can see it very clearly. You're also going to need your tool that's used with your loom. This one comes with a crochet hook, and I also recommend getting a tapestry needle and of course your scissors. And then also this particular loom comes with a comb. You can use a wide tooth comb, and it helps you straighten up your rows nice and even before you take it off of the loom. All right, grab your supplies and let's begin. All right, you want to set up your loom to where it is in this position where we have the two equal sides at a diagonal, and then the longest straight side is going to be up at the top. I'm going to refer to the pin and peg numbers as 1 being on the very ends, and then working our way across, I might refer to the second peg, third, fourth, fifth as we go in, just so you know where I'm talking about. If I say down, then it's the second peg down. It'll be on these equal sides here. So we're going to begin by just tying a little overhand knot and putting it loosely on the peg so that it doesn't slip off, but keep it loose enough where you can get back in there later on. Okay, we're going to go down between the first and second peg here and underneath all the ones across. And then when we want to go between the second and first peg up top and around peg 1 and 2 on this side. Okay, you can put your fingers there to guide so it doesn't pop off. All right, so we're going to go across, back over to the 2. So you're lining up between the 2 and the 3, this straight line over to the other side between the 2 and the 3. And now we're going to go around the 2 and go up to the 2 up here. And this is where we're going to be pulling yarn down, okay? So before we start doing that, you've got the yarn between the 1 and 2. We're not doing anything with that yarn here. We want to take our crochet hook or whatever tool you're using, and we want to push down this first line of string or yarn. So we go down, and then we're going to go up underneath this next string. You want to be between the next 2 pins or pegs that you're going to pull through. So now we can grab our yarn here and pull it through, just like that. And then when we've made a new loop, we are going to put it on top of our next pin or peg, which is number 3 for this first time. So if you're laying this down this way, you can wrap your yarn and pull it through. If you are on an easel or something, then you might have to be holding it up here like this. All right, so we want to drag this new line across. This is our working yarn. We want to drag it across to the other side. So I'm just going to lift up my hand, drag it across, and we want to hook it onto the third peg or pin down here. You see how that's now attached? And it's made a vertical line when we go up through the second and first peg. See that right there? And now we want to drag it down just as we did before. We're going to go down this direction. So what we do is place our hook, and we go down and under and down. So it's over this line, under and over. Let me do that closer up. So we're going to go over, under, over. And then we want to wrap our yarn and pull it through. Okay, and then we're going to place it onto the next pin here, and that's pin number 4. And now we're going to drag across our working yarn all the way down here, the other side, and it goes on number 4. So we're on number 4 down here, and then we complete it with the 4 here. And now we need to begin a new row. Now, of course, you don't need to move yours back and forth. I'm just doing that for this video. So I'm going to leave it laying down from here on out. And we'll do another close-up when we get down towards the end. So here we go. We're going to go over, under, over, under. Now I'm exaggerating. You don't have to pull them up that hard. So we're going to wrap our yarn around like this and pull it through. And make sure if you wrap it funny, you make sure you don't want it twisted like this. So before you place it on your peg, you want to twist it around and make sure that it's on there where you're not twisting up your strands. You want the working yarn to be on this side, not trapped underneath over here. All right, so now we're just going to drag it over to the other side and complete that line. Just pop it right on. That's the easiest part. Go between the next pins that you need to be and do it again. We're going to go a little faster. Over, under, over, under, over. Wrap it, pull through, and place. Drag it across, place. Over, under, over, under, over, under, and pull it through, and place. And you just keep repeating until you have all of it done. And then I want you to continue going. So you pause your video and continue going until you have 2 pins that do not have it wrapped. And I will see you in a moment. Now, as you get further along, you're going to notice that your crochet hook is going to be too small to go through the whole thing. Now, on this loom, I can probably do it, and I have done it. But I want you to know that you can start anywhere and start doing the over-under part. So what you want to make sure and do is where you see it going under, okay, so this strand here is going under here, then you want to go over next to it, and then under, over, under, over, and you can pull through that direction, well, when it's on that side. So I'm going to do that over here on this right side, and I'm going to go see where it's going under here. I'm going to go over, under, over, under, over, and pull through. Okay, and I'm going to leave a nice little loop so that I can see it. I'm going to come over here, see it's going under. Let's go down here. Okay, so I'm going to go over that one, under, over, under, over, under, and this is over. So we're just going to grab it and guide it through, leave another loop, and let's go ahead and come down to the end here. Over, under, over, under, over, under. Grab that loop and pull it on through and place it. And then we're just going to drag that on over here and go to the other side. And now we're ready to make the completion. So we've got 2 more passes that are going to come through here. This is towards the end. So if you need to continue, then do so and meet me back up. Once we get to this line, you'll see that we're just going to pull it straight through. I do want to stop and talk to you about using the comb method before you go any further. So if you have a wide tooth comb, or you have one like this, if you got the Kiss Loom, you take this and you can straighten out your lines. Go ahead and take this very first one and go all the way up to the end, getting rid of those loops. And then you can evenly space out all your lines here to where your weaving is nice and even these vertical ones. Usually it's the center where you're going to need to straighten it up. And then of course this will draw in. Now, as a reminder, I'm not doing double stranded on here. I'm just doing this for demonstration purposes, but the lighter the weight yarn on here, it's going to draw up more, but also it's going to have more of an open weave effect if you use a lightweight yarn and it's not thick enough. So with a double strand, it looks like this. So that means you're pulling 2 strands at once. You would have a strand coming from your ball, and then you could have a little bobbin that you can make. If you'd like to see how to make a little extra bobbin, click on up here or the description below for a link on how to make a bobbin so you can pull 2 strands at once. All right, pause your video and continue when you're ready to make that final pass. See you in a moment. All right, so you've used the comb and straightened out everything, and there's one last pass here. I'm going to go ahead and pull this on through and show you how to finish it off. So we're going to go over, under, continue. And of course, use that last technique that I showed if it's too long for your hook. All right, I'm going to grab that, pull it through. Okay, and then place it. Okay, and it's not going to stay placed for long because we are going to cut this strand. So go ahead and just cut it up here because that's going to be your tail. And now you can just pull that right on out and then straighten up anything that you need to. Now, you are finished with your triangle, and then you just pull it off the loom. It's easy to pull it off with the comb. I suggest starting on one end and pulling this side out here and then pulling out this side so it's nice and consistent, and then just lift it off of the other side. Now, in order to connect it, you can actually connect one right on top, and we're going to connect the next one, which I'll do in another color, right on top of this. So we're going to be working with this. This is the front side here, and then this is the second one, and then the right side or front side on this one will actually be the back of the panel here. Okay, so we want to go ahead and push all these strands down, making sure to comb it how you want. And once you have what you want, you're going to begin on the next color and just tie on your new strand just as you did before, just like that, and then begin again. There's nothing special and different about this one other than it's just made right on top of it with the use of the pegs that are existing. So we're going to go around the 1 and 2, around the 2 up here, go around the 2 across and down, and do the over under pulling through just as you did before. Let me get this one started and review that part of the video if you need it. And then what I'm going to do is I'm going to make this one here, and when I'm finished, I will show you how to stitch these two together. All right, go ahead and make your second one. Pause your video and we'll meet back up for that. Also, want to make sure that you know that if you are using double strands, make sure that you are going through both strands at the same time. On my sample, I want to point out that I missed a couple of strands on here, and so I have this extra little piece, and I didn't want to correct it. I wanted you to see that it had this part missing because I missed one when I went through. So that's important to know so that you're happy with your work. You can also check it by turning it over to make sure that you didn't miss anything. All right, I will see you soon, and we will connect it to make a square. See you in a moment. All right, so I'm at the end. I've gone ahead and combed these, and in fact, you can see that I completely lined them up because, of course, I haven't double stranded it, but if I hold it like this, you can see that I do have, in fact, 2 different colors on here. Of course, you can have 2 of the same color. This is just for demonstration purposes, but it would be really fun to have a 2-colored a bunch of squares like this and connect them in for another big triangle. So let's continue on. So you're going to want to take these off now, and this is the same technique for taking these off as if you just made a triangle. I like to use my comb and just pull them off at the same time. You can do the top one and the bottom at the same time. Pause your video and I'll see you in a moment. All right, slowing down, and I just take off that last pin. This is the second pin or peg. Do not take off the first one. All right, we'll turn it and do the other side. Okay, coming to the end, and just take off that second peg. Don't unhook it from the second on the cross part. All right, so we're going to turn it around, and you don't need your comb anymore. And we're going to be going through these here. So you're going to need your tapestry needle here and some scrap yarn. And you can just pull across maybe 1.5 times across here. You don't really need that much. You're just going to need what's going across here and then some for tails. Go ahead and slip that through your tapestry needle. And we're going to go down through this first loop. And then we'll leave a tail sticking out. So pull it all the way through and leave a nice tail. And then we're going to go through the next loops. So what I did is I went through these first 2 loops here, so top and bottom. If you are using double strands, then you need to make sure and go through 2 on the top and 2 on the bottom. Now I find that just going straight down and pushing on the wood down here and pulling it apart, then you can use that as a guide to get it all the way through the strands. This one here, we're just going to go through the next part and go down through the same 2. So we're just going to continue to go down. This is a whip stitch seam. Okay, that's how we're finishing it off. And we go through the next one the same way. A bent tapestry needle works really well right here. And just make sure and don't loop around those pins or pegs. If you find it's hard to do, you can even pull back like this, and you can see where those lines were and really catch them that way. And there we are. So just continue going through, making your whip stitch all the way until the end. I'll meet you at the last 2 pegs. See you in a moment. All right, we're on the last 2 pegs, and just keep continuing as you were. Whoops. All right, so this very last peg is the hardest one just because it had that knot on there to begin with. And I want to go ahead and, actually let me straighten out that little tail there. We're going to go straight through that. If you left it loose, you'll be able to go through there. The first time I did this, it was not as easy. I find it easier to go through one at a time on this one. So let's go through that one. And you can actually go ahead and take this off, especially if it makes it easier. I am all for easier. There we go. And then I'm going to go through the next one. I'm going to pull back on this knot here. Sometimes that's easier to find it. There we go. Just want to make sure I'm through all the strands. I'm not splitting the yarn. All right. So now we are through, and then you can pull that straight off. And then now you can pull out your tapestry needle and take this off of the loom, and just by picking it up and pulling it off like that. And I just kind of tip it forward over those nail heads. So we're going to open it up, and you have your nice whip stitch edge, and it's flat. It's not going anywhere. Now you can see how loose this weave is because I had the 1 strand, but like I said, you're going to want to use the 2 strands. You can do the 1, but this is what it's going to look like. It's going to be really loose, open weave. And you might want that for your shawl or something, but this would be the double, and then this would be if you have the super bulky 6-weight yarn. So these are 4s. 2 strands of a 4, 1 strand of a 4, and this one is a super bulky 6. Now you see I have a different edge here. This is a crochet edge, and I personally like this one here because it lays nice and flat. It's especially nice if you are doing the 2-tone effect like I have going on right here. All right, so you would also connect it on the sides if you wanted to do it connecting on the sides this way. So it's the same method either way. I'm so glad that you joined us today for working on what was our Kiss loom today, but any of your triangle looms will work in this way. Thanks for joining us today, where we help you stitch your love and love your stitches. See you again soon.